Lord, for the temperatures that you call right, and we just ask, God, you help us to be safe in it. We give you thanks, Lord, for this gathering today. We just ask for the business of Daviess County to be handled well and in your honor. Lord, we just pray for wisdom for our commissioners and all those involved to make the right decisions and to do things toward this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thanks, Rodney.
Thank you. All right, it was. Regarding the courthouse renovation, that was actually a public meeting. The meeting minutes from August 8th, the commissioners meeting. I believe I was absent. So gentlemen, are there any corrections? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
You did get it? Didn't get it? I didn't know.
All right. And then we also have the meeting minutes from the August 16th Commissioners meeting. If there's no revisions or changes, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. All right, Mr. Chris, good morning. How are you? We'll be the judge of that.
I think there was a mess up on the bids. I don't know exactly how that works, but I know we had some more bidders that somehow didn't get the correct email to submit their bid. I don't know, maybe the best case scenario would be delay the whole thing and not open the one we have. We do want it to be competitive with bidding this building out, and one bid's not going to make it very competitive. And if we open it, then that would be unfair to anybody else that's not submitted one yet. But I guess whatever Grant thinks we can do here.
Yeah, we haven't opened this one. I mean, you can reject everything that's here, and we can redo it if that's your suggestion.
That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, can we go ahead and accept the sealed bid, keep it sealed, and then perhaps give till Friday for to iron out the technological error, and keep the bids open until Friday?
And if they want to submit something even in follow-up, they can. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that would work too. I think the bids were there. They just didn't get them turned in by the date, which we advertised it and everything, but.
We're running out of time. Do we need to have another special meeting to open bids in? Because we're running out of time. We've got to wait until the next meeting.
You could have it you could do it at a highway department if you wanted to, just to maybe make it or faster, whatever the case may be. But you want to open at a public meeting, probably, yeah.
Yeah, Ron, Michael, what you all think?
I'm available until whenever, but
I'm available too. If
we just need that. I don't think we can wait till the next meeting because we're already on a time frame to get this done by the end of the year to get the bills paid.
Okay. So do we want to give them until 8 a.m. Friday morning?
Yeah, that would work.
And then we can have a commissioners meeting 8 a.m. Friday morning?
We have enough time for that?
48 hours.
Okay.
So what you might do is extend this.
That's enough time, right? Yeah. That'll be as quick as we can have a meeting.
Yeah. Have it by 8 a.m. We can just be here at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Can we have it at the highway department?
Yeah.
Just because I'll be dropping a kid off at our rate.
Save you a trip. You don't have to come back to town anyhow.
It'll be 8:15. If you want the meeting early, right?
That's fine with me.
No, I'm kidding. Friday, 8 a.m. highway department, can we do that? And the agenda item would be basically the receipt and opening of the bids.
Yeah.
Grant, are you available Friday? Come out?
I probably
Or
can.
do you have to be there?
I don't need to be there, but I probably can.
Okay, well, if you don't have to be there, we can open the bids.
Yeah.
And then we'll just.
Fine with that time frame, Ron?
Yep.
Okay, 8 a.m. Friday. So make sure DC.
Okay.
Whoever,
That was one of them.
People one more time,
Eight.
not open this up.
Eight o'clock.
okay, good, we'll do that.
Show you what needs.
And other than that, I've got, that was my whole thing today, was opening the bids and going through that, so now I don't have nothing, but I got an LPA claim voucher, Candleberg Road Construction, inspection, 4 and 5, from Lockmiller Group. 7707, so they're getting cheaper.
They're still coming though.
Okay, any questions regarding the LPA clean voucher? It's in the amount of $677.07 with 80% reimbursable.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
On project updates, I guess the sidewalk crew is in on the bridge, the Montgomery Bridge. They're framing up the sidewalks to the bridge and getting ready to pour them, the decks poured. Just general construction going on, getting ready for the road part of it, the approaches. The Candleberg Road,
On that bridge, just really hats off to the crew there. They were able to get all the concrete poured the day before school opened. And anyone goes to Bar Reeve knows it's quite a kind of a cluster there. And thanks to the Sheriff's Department for having some traffic control too. But concrete trucks were able to get in the day before and get that done, or otherwise it would have just been mass.
Yeah.
So that was great that they did that.
yeah, I think they've been doing a good job on it. I reached out to the railroad also on part of that. There's some brush in front of Helena Chemical, and I got the okay from the railroad to cut that brush, as long as I don't pull the root system out of it and let the dirt wash down on the tracks. But we put that bridge in, and we were only allowed to work in a certain area there. And so, I mean, it's not just for visual, but it's a nice looking bridge. You don't want it to be hid by a big bunch of unsightly brush, so we're gonna pull that brush out on it.
You
And
gotta-
then on the,
You gotta treat the roots then too, so they don't come back.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll probably pour a little something on it if that's legal.
You can paint that stuff on the roots.
Keep it
On
from
where you
growing.
cut it off at, just paint it on top. It'll keep it from growing back.
I think they did that one other time, not that, but they've cut the brush, but it was years ago, it was
Yeah.
before I started.
But yeah, if you cut that and just paint where you cut at, it'll keep it from growing back.
So we're gonna clean that area up a little bit. And on the Candleberg Road, I had the email, I didn't get a look at it, but, I turned into a notice to terminate, for phase 4 and 5. That means that it's completed and we're done, and we accepted it, and all the vegetation is growed back. And I believe it's been accepted, but I didn't actually read the email, so that could be your last LPA claim voucher for that section. To address the failed sections on the road, we're still working on that with partnership with Milestone and the Lockmiller Group are wanting to come together to fix the part that broke and any other sections that may be questionable.
Okay.
That's all I've got today, unless anybody's got any questions.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
All right, next up, we've got the county COVID policy. Kathy, good morning.
Morning, Kathy.
Good.
We haven't said that word for a while, Kathy. You ruined our streak here.
You might have not said that word for a while, but I have. I can't wait to not say that word. I just wanted to come and talk about updating our COVID-19 policy. It's getting smaller and smaller, if you've noticed. The first one was like 2.5 pages, and now we're down to 2 little paragraphs. So we are seeing an uptick in COVID cases just because people are living life and getting back to routine. Just to remind county employees, if you agree to the policy in front of you, if they test positive, and it is regardless of their vaccination status, so whether or not they've had 1 shot, 2 shots, 7 shots, if they test positive, they have to stay home for 5 days. And this is according to the CDC and the State Department of Health guidance. And then they can return to work on day 6 as long as they've been fever-free for 24 hours without fever-reducing medications. It's requested that they wear a mask for the additional 5 days because they are still shedding the virus. And they must use their sick time and notify their supervisor when they test positive. If they were just exposed to someone with COVID, or they have symptoms of COVID but they have a negative test, we ask that they wear a mask for 5 days, test again on day 5 from exposure. If they're negative, just continue to watch for symptoms, and if they develop symptoms, to stay home.
Okay.
That's pretty straightforward.
Any questions, gentlemen? All right, if not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thanks, Kathy. All right, next up, we got Kim from RSVP. Good morning, Kim.
Morning.
Morning. I am here to request use of the Government Center parking lot for 2 hours on September 21st. It's a Thursday, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for a community health fair. Does anyone need a flyer? Did you get these in your packet?
Yep.
Okay.
Or,
This one's updated.
that's how I've seen it somewhere.
It has the address. Approve us. So this came from an RP Community Challenge grant. We applied in the spring of this year, and we received it, and it funded a trike portion of the bike library at Jamestown Square. So we purchased 6 commercial-grade adult trikes. The Glick Foundation funded bicycles, adult and children's bicycles last year, and all of the older folks in the apartment said, wait a minute, what about us? So we wrote a grant and we received it, and part of the grant requirements was a public education fair, or education piece. So we came up with the community health fair. I have gone to the city, and pending your approval, they've allowed us to close Heffron between 3rd and 4th Streets. Any questions?
That looks great. Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for
that's good.
thank you for doing that. That's the purpose of that parking
Yeah.
lot, was to have different types of events.
Oh, great.
So that was the ulterior motive, and Commissioner Taylor should have all the electricity done by then. And
I wish we would, but hopefully we will.
We've told them we don't have electricity.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Like Nathan said, we were trying to get that for community events,
Okay.
the parking lot. That's what reason we built the way we built it. There is supposed to be electricity in that parking lot, but we're still working
There
on
will
it. There will be in the future.
I did have a question. Because of the time frame, we thought maybe parents would want to provide dinner for their families, and we thought of 1 food truck. Is there an ordinance? Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to fill the parking lot, but just have an option for folks who,
Yeah,
I've
check
checked
with
with
the
the city,
city.
but for
Okay.
us, yeah, food trucks are allowed. That's the reason we're putting electricity in it.
have
okay.
as many as you want, as far as,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll figure that part out then.
yeah.
As long as the city is fine with it, and you need permits or whatever, just
Okay,
work on that.
sounds good.
Awesome. So that entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 3-0. Thanks,
Thanks so
Kim.
much.
All right, at the United Way kickoff, this is Jamie Chapman. How are you, Jamie?
Good. How you doing, Jamie?
Fine.
Yes, good morning. The purpose for me to be here today and ask for permission to go ahead with the Daviess County United Way kickoff. The campaign runs September 1st to end of October, and I've been involved with it the last 5-6 years. Cindy Barber's going to co-chair this year, has some fresh faces, and then Debbie Goodwin's going to co-chair, and myself too. We had a bake sale out here last year around budget hearing time, I do believe. And I would just make sure that's okay. And we'll probably have a couple raffle baskets, and the pledge forms will be going out to the department heads or instruct them how to get with me.
Sounds good.
That sounds great. Thanks for leading the charge. So, yeah.
Jamie, while you're here, can she talk about the credit card?
Oh, yes.
Soon?
To answer the concerns about the credit card to pay buggy permits, land transfers, I reached out to GovTech, which is our vendor that you can pay online property taxes, and they're in connection with Heartland is the bank. So, they're wanting to update the credit card readers to various counties for the chip reader. And I guess we're behind times on that. I didn't realize that. We need a new machine. But with our new software coming in January, I just feel like, you know, that's kind of the time period that it's going to be for them also to get us a new reader. So we're having a meeting today with our new software, and I will ask him at the time, but we will proceed because I know it's a wanted. I never understood. I didn't even think about that at the time. Our buggy time is usually May, and that's mostly over now for plates. But we do have, I think Mr. Arnold said, we have like 3,000 transfers, so land
That was the number
transfers.
I got from the auditor's office.
So
Yeah, it'd be.
we will.
Yeah.
We're working towards that to satisfy.
Yeah, I think that'd be great for everyone to be able to. No one wants to pay for any of this stuff, so we need to make it as easy for the consumer
Easy as
we-
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Great,
So
wonderful. So we're maybe January while the technology.
I'll have some more update
Okay.
then and get that done for you.
Okay, if there's anything we can do to assist, if there's any additional cost or anything, but we'd want to make sure the constituents could use their credit or debit card for any transaction in the county.
Yes, I agree.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your
Need to
time.
vote on this for United Way.
Oh, yeah, entertain a motion for the United Way plan.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And motion passes 3-0. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, next up, we got the broadband grant application from RTC. And that's all the information I really have on it.
We just had a few emails on it. Gotta have it sent in. There's a deadline. Deadline's on the 15th.
Any issues, Ron?
No, it's basically a grant that would, they have to turn in the underserved areas and where they need to go yet. And
Okay.
pretty straightforward. All they're doing is providing that list and apply for funds.
Okay. No other questions? Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
I second that, and that also, I think it's a grant that we have to turn in, so you can coordinate that with Brenda. Okay, thank you.
Okay. It's second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. All right, next up, vision therapy. Paul had reached out. We have a, there's a sort of therapy that people with a certain diagnosis get, and it's called vision therapy, but it's not for eyesight. It's just for cognitive behavioral modifications. Anyway, we do have a member who needs this therapy that currently can't get it because it's not technically covered under our plan. Maximum exposure is, $5,000 is what they estimated, so it's not extremely expensive. It's fairly rare, and so I told him I had no problem adding that on because there's no other option for this member. So I told him I'd bring it up at the
Just add it onto our current plan.
just check it, and it'd be I think they can retro August 1st, because there was a couple of bills maybe in the
Ahead of time,
pipeline.
yeah.
Because they never know it's not covered until it's built.
Until it's already done, yeah.
This be retro dated to August 1st to add vision therapy to our medical plans.
I don't have any issue with it.
You,
Okay, I'm fine with that.
okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Next up, we got just a title from the sheriff's department that of a car that's was totaled. Is this the new vehicle? This is the new vehicle.
For the insurance.
Oh. Okay, so the odometer reading on here is, oh, this is
From new.
from when we purchased.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a totaled vehicle. It just needs to be signed. So I'd entertain a motion to sign this. So,
Yes, so moved.
okay. A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0.
Not on the right line.
I know, that's a lot of pressure signing these things.
I was in Hoosier's office and they said, come sign this. And I said, well, it doesn't work quite like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the date and everything open. Is that all right? Stop crashing your vehicles over there.
March. That's March.
I can't leave well enough alone.
March.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we've replaced you.
Pretty good stretch. All right. Oh, the Westgate EDA. Grant, what do we have here?
Sure. So this is related to the abatements that the county council approved in the springtime. Followed up a couple of times to get signed documents back. We're still waiting on some of the tenants within the microelectronics facility. This is signed by Strongbox, also known here as Westgate One. They received an abatement, and it'll need to be signed by council and the commissioners, and we should be getting back a couple others that will, in whatever order, will need to be signed by the council and the commissioners. Just to let all of you know, they have sent an email asking for additional time to complete their project, so you may be receiving a formal request in the future for that. Obviously, that's your call and the council's decision as
Does
to
that
whether.
change when the abatements start and everything then too?
It would give them additional time to complete the requirements for the abatement. What the EDA does is more, it's got clawback language in there, that if they don't hit the requirements, they don't receive the benefit. So,
So 12/31 of 24 is the completion target date.
That's a revised one.
yes,
This is the new one. This is the current one.
the current one, they said that they will be asking for, or may be asking for some additional time. It relates to a handful of projects. They said, not within our control, and we're gonna be asking for more time. When you're wanting to present that,
Yep.
I think the overall theme is they're really gonna be under contract with the Navy as far as the completion date. So whatever completion date the Navy and them come to agreement upon would be the same date we would use here.
Right.
so one of the last things we negotiated too, they did pay for their professional expenses related to this. And they took the responsibility for that. They didn't want to pass it on to their tenants. That's positive.
And does it spell out in here what happens on year 11?
After year 10, they have to re-present to the county council, and the county council could extend at that point.
There's no promises or insinuations in here that that's going to occur.
That's it's made reference to within the abatement documents, but I don't believe it's made reference to in the E EDA.
Okay.
I
The
thought
10-year full abatement.
I thought there was, year 11 was supposed to start back repayment, right?
Well, we talked about different things, and year 11 was going to be the traditional abatement, or, 10, 20.
I know, but we moved on for another 10 years, add, 10% every year?
Yeah. that was the initial thought, but that's not laid out in here. According to this, year 11, you go to 100% payback unless something's negotiated.
But they'll present after 10 years, I think they call it like a modified enhanced abatement. It'll be council's decision
Yeah.
at that point.
Council, yeah. Okay.
As long as the council's fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I have no issue with it. Would like to talk a little bit about the option on other properties that the redevelopment commission controls. They're asking for an option on that. I know some have said no, but I'd like to be considered that you have an option that's not exclusive. In other words, you sign an option with them, but if somebody else comes in and wants to buy it, they can do it as well. But what that gives Strongbox is they can go after these jobs. Say, look, we have this property option. You know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I think the overarching plan up there is to create some sort of covenants, restrictions, whatever you want to call it, that entire area has to be developed to a certain standard, regardless of who owns the property. Here's the standards you have to develop the buildings in. Call it, zoning, call it whatever you want. So I think that's the overall thought. And I think everyone's subscribed to that yes, if we develop that area, it needs to be developed to certain standards, but then Crane needs to be the one that helps set those standards on what do they want that developed like. And then anyone should be able to come in and develop, and not just have a sole person controlling the entire northern part.
Yeah, and then the standards are a separate issue than the option. I would give Strongbox the option, not exclusive.
It is, but they're sort of tied together, because depending on who has the option, they have set of standards that they want the developer to abide by, so that's where we all,
Depends how the option's written.
that's how we all had to come together on that, so. Yeah, I think that's the next thing we're gonna have to tackle is that. So, as far as the ZDA, it's everything that we've talked about in the past, so, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, yeah, next up, we got, Board of Zoning Appeals, resignation. It looks like, Mr. Darren Helms is, moving and, will be resigning from the Board of Zoning Appeals. And, I've known Darren for a while. We're sort of neighbors and done a lot, for this board.
Oh, yeah,
It's
a lot.
getting it stood up and, he's gonna be a hard one to replace.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah,
He's been
really.
there from day one.
From day one, yeah.
Day one, yeah.
So, we'll probably lean on the BZA board to provide a list of candidates, or if the commissioners have any names, in mind, please reach out. Get that replenished. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Darren Helms.
So moved.
So motion made by Commissioner Taylor, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And motion passes 3-0. Okay, next up, we got the, airport warranty deed. This is,
Two documents. One's a newer transfer, and the first one is correcting an old deed that didn't get transferred in the mapping department. So two deeds there, and it was subject to a resolution that the airport board has now approved. So got the two surveyed tracks, survey track 1 and 2. You're retaining the mineral rights on that, access to property. If it's ever something that is not used for airport property, upon your request, it's returned to the county. So it should fit the sort of narrow use that the airport wants the property for.
yeah, it's about 32 acres that we're deeding over to them, that's for development.
Or One's just 32 acres. It should be like 56 acres
32
total.
and
23, maybe.
23.3, but
Okay, I'm
pretty
sorry.
close, pretty close. Yeah, that's the second one. All right, and that way they can have the ability to plan for their future phases.
Spaces and
And,
hangar space and everything, yeah.
So,
Does that leave us any property out there?
yeah, we still have that property just directly north of the lighthouse there in the corner,
Okay.
and that septic system.
South end or two, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we still have property up there, so this,
There been any more feedback from Lighthouse on the property of that corner?
they
Warriors.
want it.
Just
Um,
want it donated?
Yeah, they want it, yeah. I didn't talk to them about a purchase price. I always feel challenged. I'm always challenged asking a nonprofit to purchase property if they're providing a good service for the community. We haven't broached that topic yet, but if there's any interest in selling it, I can definitely reach out to Pete. Buy it. If they're wanting to put up some sort of ball field or ball diamond or something. That corner, but then the septic system's there, and then that was kind of the rate limiting step with this transaction, is who controls the septic system? It can run a small city out here, and,
Can we not maintain ownership and just let them use it?
yeah, we
Sure they have insurance?
maintain ownership of the property.
Yes.
Yeah, but then they're gonna put a ball diamond and.
For liability,
And then
yeah,
if
liability.
we wanna come back and use it, it's gonna be a,
It's probably a liability anyhow, because they're maintaining building and maintaining our septic field too.
We have let other, I mean, not-for-profits and interlocal agreements, we've let other people use property for fairly unsafe purposes, I mean, training and whatnot. And so we can do it, if that's something that you all want to entertain, and just, if you ask them not to put up any, like,
Sure he's got liability insurance.
typically have them sign that we're an additional insured, they enter into a lease.
it's,
I go either way on it.
I could too.
Either way, I mean, it's for good use, and they're making use of the place out there, and they do keep the place maintained since they've owned it. I wouldn't have any qualms if it's 4 acres, just donate it to the Lighthouse.
Donate or lease, short, long-term lease, low payment.
So you're talking about what are you wanting to, for the septic field too, or just the 4 acres, or?
I don't know, it's not on the agenda, I don't know.
I know, we're going to talk about it.
Well, I mean, in the past, I thought, that with the septic field there, I mean, they put that septic field there just for potential airport expansion, or if there's anything out there that developed.
Yeah.
That you'd have a septic field that can run the whole thing, so from what I've been told, it's like,
to maintain it then.
from what I've been told, I mean, it's $150,000 septic field. Someone gave me the number, maybe it's 80,000. It's a lot of money that the county spent on
Spent
the
on it, yeah.
septic field, and
And it's only got 1 mound, and it's set for 2 mounds, so you could actually double the size of it.
okay. So I mean, I wouldn't be inclined to necessarily give the septic field away.
Okay.
Can of worms across the board, you may just reach out and see if they're still interested. Go from
So
there.
yeah, let's just maybe table that thought. I can reach out to Pete.
I think
and just-
we're all pretty open to that 4 acres, so.
Okay, and I can have Sean go out there and show me what we actually still own up in that we carved out. So, okay, all right, I got so the deeds for the airport in front of us. If there's no other questions here, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. Okay, next up, we got the limited use agreement, GIS.
This is allowing SIDC with the land bank to obtain RGIS mapping so that they can start looking into those properties that they're trying to turn around and capture and try to put them back on our tax rolls.
Rolls out.
So,
They went there.
Okay.
Additional cost.
no, there's no cost associated with it. We just need the formal
They just want
approval.
use of it, give it access to it, using it. They'll have their own password to get in, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's more of a dump of data that they then put into their program, and they're doing it for several counties.
Just a one-time deal then.
Yeah, I believe so.
Any questions or concerns? If not, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
A motion passes 3-0. Okay. Next up, we got the Daviess County EMS Facility Project. I think we got a letter of support here regarding a grant that is being applied for through Okra in order to assist in building a EMS station. I believe this is one in Washington, correct, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah, currently they're housed inside the hospital, and which has some advantages, but then as far as just the day-to-day life of a paramedic, having your own station is a little bit more normal
Yeah.
than coming back from a run and having to go back to the hospital and working, assisting inside. So this is a letter of recommendation, single signature regarding that grant. So I'd entertain a motion to approve if there's no questions.
Any questions? So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. All right. Courthouse renovation update. We did have a meeting on the 16th just to talk about the move and the furniture. No, there's some last minute questions still being answered regarding just some of the carpet and accessories. Seems like still moving forward for a mid-September-ish bid release.
Talked to all the department heads about the move, they're getting a list together of what they need moved over to the annex.
Okay.
Prosecutor's gonna take care of his own move, we don't have to worry about him. Plan on talking to Hudson's, talking about some desk and
Close this up.
would have to be moved. But once we get the list together, we'll get a price from Hudson, and talk about it.
Okay.
Timeframe that kind of given them is if we bid it out mid-September, 30 days to get it back, we award, so third week of October, first week of November, start the move, want them all completed by December 1st.
Okay.
And the only issue that really comes up that I can see that may cause an issue is all the files in the clerk's office, you've got 4 walls.
Yeah.
Those things come down, probably won't go back up somewhere, but if they do, they're not scheduled to be moved back in the courthouse. We're gonna have to have off-site storage, and they need to keep them permanently. Records have to be kept
Yeah.
forever. So we start thinking about, are we gonna have a permanent off-site location for the storage?
Yeah, we'll have a, good question. We have to break that down into 2 phases, because I mean, the airport hangar is supposed to be completed by the end of October. That will be our storage spot temporarily, which could be 12+ months, or however long it takes us to find the long-term storage. So I think that's gonna be phase 2 or 2A is, okay, now long-term, where do we wanna put a storage facility? I know we had talked about the north side of this building.
And maintenance building and storage, yeah.
Maybe take another look there, have something close by. But I do like the fact of getting the basement here emptied of storage, and then when when these folks move back out into the courthouse, it could just be some future-ish office space downstairs that's semi-built out in a very loose way. So on the storage building, do we want to ask Scott with starting to look at that again?
I think we need to have a discussion about location and just what all we want it to include.
Yeah. I mean, do you want it close by or?
So I think so.
Because we were close to pulling the trigger here, but then I do agree the design and stuff was gonna be a little pole barnish. And then we pulled back on that, you know, a year or so ago. So I think we've got the land already.
We got the land here. Could possibly look at more land on this block too.
Yeah. Ron needs to.
I didn't walk out.
Cause yeah, I think we need to, we're gonna have to do a lot of these things in conjunction with each other. From my recollection, we have enough space just to the north here to build
It was gonna take up every bit of it.
a facility, okay.
And the way the terrain is, it is a little challenging too, so.
I mean, I could reach it,
I'd say we get the financing set on the courthouse, see where we're at on that,
Okay.
and what we've got in the salt building and the hangar,
Alright.
and see where we're at.
Come back to you. Also, you know, when those bids come back and we see that we could afford the courthouse without going back out to rebid or anything else like that, I think we just need to start moving as soon as possible, in case there's a hiccup somewhere else. We press,
Yeah.
put it down to the wire December 1st or something.
yeah, I agree. I talked to Dan Murray last week and I basically, my advice to him is move whenever you wanna move. The space is allocated, you know, we know the second story here is where he's gonna go. It's like the only risk you're gonna take is if you move, say you move now, and the bids come back and it's delayed 3 or 4 months, your offices are still gonna be usable over there, and now you're gonna be up here. Cause we don't know what those bids are gonna come back at.
Right.
So so I gave him the green light, move whenever you want, but just know the risk.
And the clerk wants to be the last to move for obvious reasons because of the election.
Right.
So I told her that would be no issue, but we're still gonna shoot for December 1st, having everybody moved.
Yep.
I think that was what we was always talking about too.
Sounds
when
good.
the
And then,
moving out last.
any update on when the bids will go out? Heard from Jeremy or?
Haven't
Heard
heard
anything different? We were talking the 15th.
Mid-September, right? Was when it's supposed to go out.
That's what she said at the last meeting, that they were still, they thought on track. And something to
I
think
think
about
we need
is,
to hold that to that date, because we're getting, our timeframe's running out. I don't wanna be past December again.
we probably need to break it into pieces too, just so that there's
You know exactly what it is, yeah.
absolute needs and then
Once later.
everything else. Because we don't know what the price is gonna be, we don't know. Council's finished with their, I guess, deliberation about what can be afforded.
I just reached out to Jeremy just to see.
We need that thing needs to be out by the 15th.
Oh, I agree. So it's been Labor Day, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just pushing 2 weeks, but, and then, and just the little cost, you know, driving down carpet samples and stuff like that. I mean, we just gotta be just extra attentive to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause my assumption is once those contract allowances amounts wear out, you know, we start to exceed it.
What does the design,
Services.
where does the design have to be 100% to go out for bid, or, I guess it does, right?
Changes in scope. I mean,
I mean, if they allow certain dollar per square foot for carpet, then we don't have to have the nailed down detail.
Yeah, there'll
to
just
it.
be some allowances in there for
Right.
surface coverings or whatever.
she said she's at or almost at 95%, I thought, but
Yeah, they're getting really close.
If the council decides to bond, which I think they've decided to bond against it, do we have to approve that?
I believe there's an element that has to
There'll
come,
be a
the
piece that
executive
goes-
has to.
Certain things I'm gonna want, then I want to know, certainly the amount of the bond, the interest, total interest paid for the life of the bond, all expenses related to the bond, and where the bond payment come from.
Sure.
That,
And they've talked about
I think
that.
the council talked about that day, they was in there talking about it, but also I think another thing was just trying to make sure we could have an early payoff too without any penalties.
They wanna really pay off. Will you get draft minutes and just send it out to the group so that they see kind of their deliberation. They're not,
I've seen that, I've gotten a sheet on it, but again, it didn't.
Before you
get
complete it.
Specific with
Yeah.
anything,
yeah,
and I'm interested in the specific details.
sure.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, we'll keep this thing pressing forward, and obviously we'll shoot these target dates out there, and we'll try to stick to them and
Yeah.
go from there, so.
I just don't want to get held up on carpet samples or anything like that. As long as we got a number in there affixed to that, so we can get the thing out to bid, that's all I care about.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other agenda items? Okay, if not, I'd entertain a motion to approve payroll claims and to adjourn the meeting.
So,
This is backing up, did you mention the highway meeting we had?
I did. Yeah, we did have a highway meeting. The minutes are in here, and we did meet this morning, so, and then I did fill out that.
one thing we didn't address though was that, bypass road from the closure of 200 North, 550 East.
What?
The Helena Road,
Yeah,
you know, Chris is gonna get that hard surface this next week, right? For the bypass of 200 North being closed.
Yeah, we've had some complaints about the road not being hard surfaced, and they had to get their tile down, had to let it settle, but he plans on getting that hard surfaced next week, I believe.
Yeah. Can't remember what, it's either 500 or 550 East.
And let's confirm, maybe with the coal mine, that they're gonna come back in and provide an update to you all on.
They were there this morning.
We had an update,
Yeah.
had that this morning, and then October the 24th.
October 24th. Yep, they're gonna come back for the highway department, so. All right, good.
I'll make a motion to pay payroll, pay claims, and adjourn.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 3-0.